Hey everybody. We've got a pretty awesome upgrade for our F-350 coming up next. Welcome back to the channel. That is right, we have a great upgrade for our F-350. Let's take a look. I've got a giant box next to my feet here. First of all, what do we have? We have an awesome set of tow mirrors for this thing. Aaron and the team over at Boost Auto reached out to me a couple of months ago and said, hey, if you'd like to try one of our products, get a hold of us. And I said, hey, sure, can I try out a set of these mirrors? And they said, we'll send you a pair out. So that is awesome. These look like they're incredible mirrors, and I'll show you the really cool thing about them to make them better than these in just a minute. But first of all, we've got two big boxes like this. One box has a mirror and cables. This looks like it's the driver's side mirror. Check this out. Power mirror, heated. These are the newer style that fit the 2002 to 2007 styles of the F-350. I will drop a link below, of course, because they have a whole bunch of accessories, not just mirrors, not just for Fords. So these are the 2008, I believe, and Ford new design up until, what is it, 2021 or something, when Ford changed the styling again. But these things, this package was 40 pounds. These are not cheap crap. Assembled in the USA. You gotta love that. What's in the other box? The other box has a bag of goodies. Oh, they sent me a koozie for cold snacks and a sticker. Wiring harnesses. Got a bag, presumably for the passenger side. We've got another bag of harnesses here with two different harnesses in it. This is for the driver's side. And another baggie with these little modules in them. Now, what do you think these would be for? They sent me a big old flag. I'm going to hang this up down in the shop. That is, yep, look at that. Awesome, thank you for this excellent flag to hang up down there. We'll have to go do that. And last and not least, is the mirror for the passenger side. Again, not light. These are built heavy duty, super duty. But the coolest thing about these for this series of truck is they are power folding and power extending. So if you're trailering a lot, easily to extend the mirrors, fold them in. Personally, when we are going camping, I always forget to extend the mirrors until we're driving down the road and it's inconvenient to stop. So I have the wife lean out the window and push it, and the passenger side one here is actually cracked, so I'm just waiting for that to fall off sometime and land on the side of the freeway. So this solves that problem. And also, they are auto not auto, but electrically folding too. Because when we are backing in and out of our shop with the camper, I have about this much room on my driver's side in order to get the camper in where it needs to be. So it's always a back up, realize I'm gonna knock the mirror off, pull forward, fold it in, then put the camper away. This takes care of that. And how do they do that? When there's no existing factory support for it? Well, it's these little wireless doodads here. We've got one here for the driver's side, one for the passenger side, and those harnesses I showed you earlier on hooks up to these, tags onto the factory harness for power, and with a sequence of little bleep bloops and fiddle switches, you enable these little modules, and you're able to control the telescoping and folding features of these mirrors from your existing controls. Everything remains factory looking. Let's just stop talking and put them on. So if we're taking these existing mirrors off, it's pretty easy. We pop off our little light or reflector down here. We pop up our switch panel here. You can just use a little plastic trim tool, maybe your fingers, you can pry them up. Just try and avoid any metal screwdrivers or tools that could possibly mar your door cards. These have a couple of 8mm bolts or screws, whatever you want to call them. And over here we've got a pair of these little rubber grommets. Those can pop off. Pop off our plastic trim piece here. That'll expose 4 of these, what are they, 11mm nuts to come off. This little piece here can be folded back if you still have yours. Pull off our door card. For me, I just yank up and off. Depending on your year of vehicle, it may differ slightly. We'll pull back our little cover here, disconnect the existing factory mirror harness, tuck it up in the door, and let's take this existing mirror off. Now, if you've got a friend to help maybe hold the mirror if you want on the outside, that may make the removal and reinstallation a little easier, but maybe not necessary. We can pull our mirror off and snake our harness up and out. And here's our original factory mirror. New mirror is upside down, but you can see we've got a lot more real estate for the mirror, and that lower mirror is also quite a bit larger. Now, the existing hardware that comes off of your factory mirrors, you want to keep those because that is the same size. It goes back on these new mirrors. So this is where having a friend could come in handy because we've got a lot of extra harness stuff here to work with. And what they want us to do to make life easier is go ahead and remove your speaker down here as well. And I think that's going to be a 6mm, maybe even smaller. Let me go find a socket for that. Those are actually 7/32, at least for me. And if you're taking notes at home, these are not the factory speakers from an 05 Super Duty. I replaced these a couple of years ago when I replaced the head unit. Added a little factor aftermarket sub. I think it's a 10-inch powered JL audio behind the seat. And what that does is it gives us a lot of extra room down here for snaking through our wiring harness and hooking up the other harnesses and RF modules. So everything's just gonna get stuffed down the hole carefully. There's a bunch of extra plugs on here, and I'll show you why in just a few minutes. But get that down. See if we can get at least one of our studs started. This is the part where having a friend is good, so they can help you get this started and get all of your seals and gaskets tucked in underneath. All right, I'm gonna get these tightened down here. Alrighty, those are in. Oh, door card's in the way, but Just looking at fitment. Now I've got these rain guards on the side, and this clears it. It fits in here wonderfully. Sometimes with aftermarket things, you just question if fitment's going to be good or sloppy and not fit very well. And these fit really well. Nice heavy duty gasketing back here. So that is pretty cool. All right, the next thing you want to do is take your harness you've got pulled out from your speaker hole here, and you want to run your main harness back up here to the window. And we've got our other harnesses too to poke through. All right, the next thing we want to do is grab our harness bag with the two different harnesses in it. And these are all keyed, so you can't mistakenly plug them in incorrectly. And we do have a inline fuse in here, so if something ever goes wrong, it'll blow that first. So that's always good to see. They're thinking of safety first. Now we've got our harness here that poked through. We've got our different connectors. Like I said, they are specifically keyed, so you can't mess it up. Watch me. We've got one large connector here, plugs in. We have another one here. Now our module does have two different inputs on the back of it, so these will be going to there for communication. Otherwise, we have our blue and yellow connector as I move my seat, and then our orange and orange-black plugs in just like that, and they give you plenty of extra cable. One more connector hiding in here. Again, if you can't see the magic behind here, we'll go into a little closer on the passenger side. But everything is keyed, so you just really can't make a mistake. Now we do have a couple of extra connectors here for our power. We have a red and a black. We can snake our cabling up through the hole where the factory harness comes through. Pull all of our slack through. Alrighty, and we can plug our original factory harness back in, or plug our new mirror harness into our factory plug. And our other cords, we're going to snake through behind here. Alright, the next thing we can do is go ahead and put your factory speaker back in place, so I'm going to go do that. Alright, the next thing is actually hooking up power. They include in the kit a couple of crimp-on connectors, which is actually pretty cool. And we'll see how these things work. So, typically you've got your crimp-on connectors that you run both of your wires through. I haven't seen these before. You actually crimp it, and then a blade connector goes on the end of here. Not a bad deal. So, if we go and find our green harness from all of our door switches, there's a red and a black wire. You get where I'm going with this? Go ahead and crimp the red. If my hands work. All right, you'll probably need a pliers or something to crimp these down. Just like that. And the same for the black. Well, this one went so much easier. There we go. Both are on and crimped. Now we take our wiring. Red to red, black to black. Red. And again, they just crimp right in here. There we go. And there we go, just like that. Now we have a lot of extra wire, and they give you zip ties so you can tie this stuff up. And again, the important thing is to keep these extra wires outside of the door. You don't want them getting caught up in the window regulator, window assembly. You'll just have a really bad day if you do that. So we've got all of our wire mess here. Let's get this tidied up. Zip ties. Now we have our module to put on, and the directions say you can mount it on the back of your door card here if you want. And we already have holes in our little plastic panel here. So I may just put mine here, so that in the event I have to take this door card off again, I don't yank it off and forget that this module is back there. You can do it however you'd like, however it works for your situation. But as I was saying earlier, there are two different modules, and the driver's side one has two sets of plugs on it. Again, one size only fits one opening, so you can't plug these in backwards. But it is important that you get the module with the two connectors on the driver's side. And for that, we can simply make sure we have room back here. And if you want, you can just run, they get a couple of different styles of zip ties in here. We've got these kind of push-ins, or just I'm going to make a couple of holes and run the zip tie through. All right. Snug them up, but you don't want them super tight. You don't want to pull out through this door stuff. One connector. Two connector. Those are in. Now with our wiring mess, hopefully tuck him up under there. We set our door card back in place. Alrighty, well I got it on. I ended up moving the module back on the door panel behind the armrest. There's a lot more room back there. I was looking at things backwards for some reason. So anyways, it is on, our door card is on. Let us go and put our couple of 8mm screws back in place. And we can tell it fits because these things went right back in place without any other sort of spoke too soon. Ah, there it is. What I was saying is everything went back in place without any issues. Put our little reflector back in here. Some vehicles may have an actual light in here. This one does not. So if you do, just be mindful of that. Of course, you would have already seen that by now. This is my third or fourth Craftsman 1/4-inch driver. It doesn't hold up like the one from 1995 my grandfather got me. Anyways, let's go ahead and put our little rubber plugs back in here up front. Put our piece of trim back on. Clean all the dust off of it a little bit. And hook all of our wiring back up. Now, let me close my door. And with our accessories on, of course, mirrors work. Alrighty, well that one is in. You can see it tilts I'm gonna go ahead and hook up the other one on the passenger side, and then we can actually get to the fun part of this, which is the new fangled innie-outie telescopy stuff and folding stuff for both of the mirrors. So let me run over there to the passenger side, we'll get that one installed. Alrighty, we're over here on the passenger side. We've got our massive mirror. And here's how it looks from your side. I'm gonna grab one of my nuts, and just for fun, I'm going to throw it in my socket. That's gonna help me. But first, just like the driver's side, we've got to snake our wiring harness through. Being careful not to pinch any of our wires. Now we have a lot less wires here, but it's still important not to pinch them or damage them. Let's go ahead and grab one of our studs. He's holding, so go get our other 3 put on. I dropped one in there, and now I have to go find it. Give me a minute. Well, I probed around in there for a good 15 minutes with my borescope, but I can't find that 10 mil nut anywhere. So luckily it's easy to access, so I can run up to the O'Reilly, pick up another one, throw it on there and be good. So we're gonna move on with life and chalk that one up to an oh crap. So like I said, we have the new mirror on, short of one nut. We will put our rubber plugs back in there. A little piece of tape that I'm not really sure what it does. Doesn't seem to do a whole lot, but it's there, so we'll put it back. And I'm going to bring you around this side so you can get a little better view up close of that wiring. Now there's of course a lot less of it to do over here, but there's still some to do. Alrighty, so like before, you can't see my head this time. That's even better for you. We go and snake our harness through our factory area here. And we have our other wires as well, hiding down here. Ow. We've got a couple of plugs that only go one place. So these guys here we're going to tuck through and connect them to their respective plugs. Again, they're keyed, so you cannot hook them up incorrectly, even if you're colorblind. You can pull these back through and go ahead and just pull the whole mass through here. We have our original plug here into the factory harness. Tidy up these wires. You may use a zip tie if you want. Otherwise, we'll bring our door plastics back. Like I said, I've already had these off in past years to swap out speakers. Alrighty, once again we have our wiring here. This looks like to be a pink and black. Go ahead, snake this over. Grab my pliers and give it a crimp. one. And I can appreciate having to, or not having to do any sort of soldering or cutting and splicing of wires. These little crimps, some people may think they're not great. They do have their place, and this is a great example of where they come in really handy. Again, we have our red to red. We have our black to black. And once we hook this up to our module and place it over here, we should have power. Tidy up our wires here. Now the most challenging part of that whole thing was getting these door cards back on. Trim pieces back on minus the one screw, nut. Got our little reflector here below your view to put back in. We have our switches. And have the doors put back together. So let's take a wander back over to the driver's side and see how this all works. Alrighty, we're back in the truck. On the left and right mirror selector, we got our mirrors. So if we hold our button left, our mirrors move just like they should. I flip over to the right. Works just as I would expect it to. Now, if we do like our old Nintendo days, left, right, up, down, A, B, start, we've got a secret combination to turn on the fold and extend options here, and that's left, right on the mirror selector. You should hear a beep after that. 2 beeps. If I hold down, mirrors both retract. If I hold back up, they fold out. Look at that. And if I want to extend out, I hold to the left, or retract, I hold to the right. Pretty easy. If you only want to go out a little ways, you can hold the button down just a little bit. Now, they do suggest do not hold the buttons past the travel time of the mirrors. It will time out after the mirrors have folded in, folded out, whatever the case may be. If you want to return to normal mirror operation, you can let it sit and it'll time out after about 10 seconds. Let's take a look here in the driver's seat quick at the button combinations to enable the extra functions for these mirrors. So, as I was saying, normally I keep my mirrors in the off position just because I'm funny like that. If you want to do mirror control, so to flip it to the left, normal operations remain. You have a slight delay initially, just so that the controller knows you are actually trying to move the mirrors and not enable the fold and extend option. So again, these mirrors, you've got a lot of real estate for visibility, and they are heated, even better. So now we want to go ahead and extend them. Left, right. Hear a beep. There you go. Fold them back in. There you go. And if you want to fold them in, there we go. Quick push of the button, pull the button. And if you want to extend them back out, There you go. All right, now recap. If you were not trying to film this for YouTube, I would guess installation would be roughly 20 minutes per door, assuming you don't have to mess with dropping nuts or trying to get that door card back on like I did. Otherwise, the installation is very straightforward. There's no crimping, there's no cutting, there's no splicing. All you do is you tap on those two little wire taps, put on the blade connectors, and in terms of wiring, you're done. Again, you saw there's no extra controls or doodads that go with this that are going to be an unsightly eyesore on your pickup. Everything is hidden, uses the factory controls, and I think the team at Boost Auto really knocked this out of the park. Again, assembled here in the USA. That is awesome. Two big thumbs up there. Goes on a big old American Ford truck with metric hardware. Alrighty, we're about to wrap this one up. I do want to say a big thank you to the Boost Auto Parts team for sending these out to us. They did custom make these specifically to my request for our specific 05 F-350. They do have a number of different options custom made for your pickup truck, whether it's the power or the manual versions, different light configurations, whether you want the chrome, the black, unpainted so you can color match to your vehicle. Check out their website below. They've got, like I said, mirrors, custom made, as well as plenty of other aftermarket accessories for your vehicle. So check them out. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please do that. We've got plenty of other DIY videos, maintenance videos, as well as car restorations and other stuff with wheels. So for now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all real soon in the next video. Bye-bye.